but we're just going to talk a little bit about Explore testing. What Explore testing is it's ensuring that all students are on target for college and career readiness before high school. It's a test they take in the 8th grade. Our 8th graders have already had it this year. Our goal for today is to develop an understanding of the Explore test and how it is different from other tests that your child will take in school, and develop an understanding of how it's similar to both PLAN and ACT. And then also we're going to talk a little bit about how you review and understand your child's scores if you have picked those up. And if you haven't, you've got time tonight to still do that. Or they will be sent home with your child tomorrow. What is Explore? It's a test that predicts high school readiness. It's part of the EPASS system, which includes PLAN and ACT. PLAN and ACT are tests that your child will take in high school. They take PLAN at the 10th grade level and ACT at the 11th grade level. They're tested in English, math, science, and reading on the Explore test. They took the test here in September, and we recently got scores back. We did really well. We are very proud of this 8th grade group because their scores have surpassed any 8th grade scores that we've had in Explore. It's different from the test they take in the spring. In the spring, they take a KCCT test, and it's different in that this test is a national test, whereas our KCCT test is a state test. The Explore test is nationally normed. It is timed. They do not get any extended time. They have 30 minutes to do each section, and it's pretty intense for them. And it does base the same college readiness standards like PLAN and ACT. They receive a benchmark score in each area, and the benchmark is what tells us whether or not they're high school ready or college ready. And those scores, those benchmark scores are different for Explore, PLAN, and ACT. And we'll go over what those are here in just a minute. The test format for Explore, in English, they have 40 questions and 30 minutes to take that section. In math, they have 30 questions and 30 minutes. In reading, 30 questions, 30 minutes. And then science, 28 questions in 30 minutes. The score range, this is the highest score that they can have on these tests. For the Explore test, a 25 is the highest score that a student can make on Explore. And then when they take PLAN, their 10th grade year, a 32 is the highest that they can make. And their 11th grade year, when they take ACT, a 36 is their highest score. So each year, the test gets harder and the scores increase. The scholarship money comes in mainly with ACT scores. Various colleges will give scholarships for ACT, and depending on the college, those scores range from a 26 to a 36 when you get into talking about scholarship money. Also, if your child is interested in Governor's Scholar Program, they receive points on that GSP application based on their highest composite ACT score. So that's something that's coming up when they get in high school, something that some of your kids might be interested in applying for, Governor's Scholar Program. Okay, benchmarks. When they take the Explore test in the 8th grade, we hope that they will score at least a 13 in English, at least a 17 in math, a 15 in reading, and a 20 in science. If they make those scores or above, they are considered at benchmark in those different areas. Okay, you'll have your child's scores in front of you. You can see where your child fell on that range. The scores go up a little for both PLAN and ACT. Again, as they get older and are in a higher grade, the scores increase and get more difficult. Why are benchmark scores important? Students that are not meeting the benchmark score on the ACT, this is ACT, not Explore, in that subject area might would have to take a remedial course in college. If, let's say they didn't make benchmark in math, then they would have to take a remedial math college course instead of the math course that they would normally take. And, that's more money. You have to pay for that. It's kind of starts them behind the curve, so to speak, in college. They have to take that plus the math that they're required to take anyway. Any Lurie County Middle School students who are not meeting benchmark on Explore, we might pull them during seminar to help them receive extra assistance in that area just to try to get them to benchmark. That's our goal. We want them to be at benchmark here, and if they're not at benchmark here, we definitely want to try to push them toward benchmark when they get to high school and they're taking the plan and the ACT. We want them to be successful. Okay, this is our average scores, and this is data from this year. In English, Lurie County Middle scored a 16.1. The national average is 14.7, so we were 1.4 ahead of the national average. Our math scores were at 16.3, whereas the national was 15.5, so we're ahead there. You can see we were ahead in every area, including the composite. And we have not received our state data to know where we rank compared to surrounding schools, but our composite score is the highest in the history of the middle school. So we are very proud of your kids, very proud of your kids. They knocked it out of the ballpark this year, and we are just extremely proud of them. They worked very hard and continue to work hard, and that's great. It's always nice when you're ahead of the national average. And I look for, when we get the surrounding schools, I look for us to be on the top of that as well. So I'm excited to see that. Trend data, this is how our school has done from 2007 to 2012 with Explore. And as you can see, we have jumped ahead in most every area as the years go by. So that's just another graph there. This year being the highest. And then benchmark. So this is the percentage of kids that were in the 8th grade this year that met benchmark. So this year in the 8th grade, 82.5 of our kids met benchmark in English, 46% met benchmark in math, 59.2 in reading, and science, 32.2% met benchmark. And you can see what the scores were last year of the kids that met benchmark. And we did have a few more meet benchmark in math last year than this year, but still, we've got great scores and we should be proud of that overall. And you can see what the differences are between this year and last year. This is a phenomenal group of kids. You should be very proud of them. On the report that you get from Explore, there's a lot of good information on there, and hopefully your child's teacher also gave you another little handout that will help you interpret those scores and to see what they mean. And then you also receive your child's test booklet, so you can go back and see what they missed. And I had teachers calling me all day saying, are you sure they're supposed to get their test booklet? Because that's a no-no when we do spring testing, but it is okay. You are supposed to have your test booklet. There is some career information in there. Your child took an interest inventory at the very beginning of the Explore test, and it was things that they were asked questions and they were to base their answers on things that they thought they might enjoy. Not whether or not they had the ability to do it, but whether or not they thought it was something that they would like. And so based on whatever they answered on that interest inventory, it kind of gears them in a career path. And that may or may not fit your child, but that information is on that test as well. And this report also gives a projected plan score. So whatever that projected plan score is, that's what the makers of this test say your child should probably score when they take the plan test in 10th grade. So that is on that report. So that's really good information to have too. They do take the plan test in the 9th grade as a practice or as a way to determine their progress between 8th and 9th, and so that they can determine what interventions to do. But then as a 10th grader, they take it as part of state accountability. So it's kind of a practice in 9th